Browns getting ready for the first AFC North matchup of the year. They'll head to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Browns 1-2 on the year and really haven't played terribly well, but still early. First AFC North game of the season. If they get it rolling, things would be in order. And a little bit of perspective, if the Browns are able to go into Baltimore and beat the Ravens at 2-2, they would be tied for first place in the AFC North with those Baltimore Ravens. For that to happen, Baker Mayfield and the offense have to get things clicking and rolling a little bit. The Browns feel like they're close, getting really close to getting that offense going. If they're able to do that against the Ravens, they're going to need to do it against a defense that looks a little bit different than it normally does for Baltimore.
They did lose a couple guys. You lost. Anytime you lose a guy like Mosley, Suggs, Weddle, those are guys that have been running that system for a while. So it's a little different looking at it, but they have guys that are stepping up and filling those spots pretty well. And so I think that's what we need to realize is they have younger guys that are playing really well right now, and they're playing well as a unit. And so we have to identify, what they're trying to do and how they're trying to attack us.
What's the importance of not only this game because it's in a division, but they're the division champs. Last year the regular season ended the way it did for you guys. What all goes into that?
It being the first divisional game, I think, is the most important aspect of this. Looking at it, where we can stand in our division, and you separate the season into 4 quarters, and so this last game in this first quarter of the season is a very important one going up against the Ravens.
Odell's getting a lot of double teams. How can you guys take better advantage of that?
I think formatting stuff and just finding the one-on-ones, taking advantage of it. I think we're having to adjust on how teams are playing us, because of him and because of some of our other pieces. But we're figuring it out.
Baker, when you made the rounds at the Super Bowl, you had mentioned in a couple of interviews that the way the Baltimore game last year kind of left a bad taste in your mouth. Mm-hmm. Does it still, or is that ancient history?
No, I wouldn't say it's ancient history. I'd say it's kind of a healthy medium of the past is the past, but also looking back on it. And, it was the little details that got us. You look back on, I missed an out route on the last drive of the game to Jarvis where we would have had a first down. And the interception to C.J. Mosley would have never happened. So it's looking back and seeing, what got us beat and how can we get better, but also focus on what's at hand right now.
When you look at how defenses are prepared to face you and what they're doing differently than last year, do you think a lot of it's just because Odell's here and they're adjusting to that, or are they doing things specifically to stop you?
I think it's a mix. I think they're definitely teams are going to try and protect over the top and not have shots over the top of them with number 13, but also, having certain looks and disguising it and giving different looks is something that, we've kind of seen early on. So I expect to continue to see that until we show that we can really beat it.
Do you have the counter for those?
Yeah, no, I think that's something, like I said, continue to improve and have my feet and eyes in the right place. And just recognizing what teams are trying to do and adapting on the fly in the game.
I think it's on the way. It's just fixing those little minute details, executing, and just making more plays. That's really it.
Do you have a sense for what opposing defenses are going to tend to try to do?
Same thing. Whenever I'm on the field since my rookie year, they put a safety, 2 high safety, double team, play it from the inside out, safety over the top. All these teams that play their style of defense and this and that, and then they get to play, and I'm on the field and they switch it to same thing, double team. So that's just what we expect. That's what I go into the game expecting. I don't go into the game expecting no man-to-man, no safety over the top all game. I definitely don't expect that. Or just right now I feel confident in me like it'd be a long day. So I don't think that that's going to happen. We know how teams are going to play us, so we just got to plan around that.
You had Earl Thomas back there this year for them this year. What's your view of Earl Thomas?
I love Earl. He's been one of my favorite players before I was even in the league. I remember rookie year we played them at Seattle, and I had to come across the middle one time and just try not to get hit by him, and he's a phenomenal player. He's been that way all his career, even at Texas. So just being able to see him out there again, coming off his injury and playing football, trained with him a few times in LA, just seeing him back out there is it's inspiration, you know, because once you go through something like that, it's tough to get back on the horse and figure out a way to dig deep within yourself and find your game again. So not that it really matters, but proud of him in that sense for being able to do that. He's a tremendous talent.
Odell, Sunday was Baker's 16th career start. He seems to be taking a lot of heat for this team's offense right now. What do you think? More of it?
It's the position he's in. He's the quarterback. He's gonna get the blame. The coaches are gonna get the blame. It's just a blame game. But once you know what's real, none of that really matters. You know, like you said, it's only his 16th game, so I guess he was still a rookie. So I always give him a hard time for that, and you just learn from your so-called mistakes or whatever it is, and you just keep getting better. That's really all we can all do, and I know that that's exactly what he's going to do. And we just got to find a way to make more plays for him.
There's a lot of attention focused on how fast he gets rid of the ball. You know, if it's less than 3 seconds, his completion percentage is around 70 or higher. If he holds on to it longer than 3 seconds, it's around 55. You as a receiver, though, does it help you as a receiver if he gets it out fast, or do you like having that extra time?
Depends on the play. You know, you can't run a post in 2 seconds. So it's tough. It just depends on the play. If he's holding the ball, it might have been a play that's deeper down the field, and he has to. I don't think he would ever intentionally hold it longer than he needs to. So, you know, like I said, we're a couple plays away from getting to where we want to be, and just finding ways for this team to dig deep, and the leaders lead, and the players go out and make plays.
I mean, yeah, they do a lot of great things. Like, number one is definitely stopping the run. They're built to stop the run. Just the big guys up front. They do a great job of, you know, not moving, just kind of sitting down and just not being able to move. So they do a great job with that. But, I mean, we like to run the ball here, so it should be a great test for us.
Mayfield was just talking about the guys they've lost, and one of them maybe who was substantial in the run game. Not that they all didn't have a role, but Mosley. Are they a little bit different with a playmaker like that not in the lineup anymore?
They are a little different. I mean, Mosley's just a very, you know, great player, just very talented. And so, I mean, they're missing him, but he's I don't know, I mean, it's just the Ravens. I'm sure they have someone who can fill in his spot.
Obviously, you guys came so close last year in the finale at Baltimore. Do you use that as fuel or to drive you to have that game?
I mean, yeah, it's a good opportunity to go back and kind of finish what we started, because we were close to winning in the very last game. It would have been a great win to go into the offseason with, but it didn't happen. So now we're just looking forward to going there and playing them again.
How much importance do you put on this one, given that, you know, they're the division champs? This is your first AFC North game as a team.
I mean, it's the next game, so it's important for that reason. But we do know, you know, how much this game means to us in the division.
Freddie said the Ravens always really physical, right? That's one of the things that stands out about him. It's kind of in their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice, like, does that jump out from them as opposed to some other teams you guys play against?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just the personnel for one, and then the guys that have on defense, and then how they play. I mean, they do a great job of, you know, being physical, like you said. They try to be the bullies, so it'll be a great challenge for us.
Nick, you just spent, I know part of your offseason was trying to get more comfortable in the pass catching role. Do you feel that way? I think you've already got like 11 or 12 receptions.
Yeah, I feel better. Just getting an opportunity to kind of get out there and run more routes and kind of build on that. But I do feel better.
I think we made some good strides in the run game this last week for sure. We wanted to try and slow down their pass rush by running the ball as much as we could. And Chubb is a workhorse out there. You know, get him the ball as many times as possible. And then he had some screens too. I see those things. I see us missing plays by, you know, 2 feet here or there. You know, if it's the route, if it's the pass, if it's a block, you know, hold for another second or two. Little things like that. And for me to tell you that I understand all the of the passing game is, you know, I'm just happy I know who I'm blocking on a play. But I know they're working at it, and I know they're trying to improve. I know Freddie's saying he's going to call better plays, and that's what he's been telling us. And it's one of those things where it does take time, and unfortunately, you know, there's only 16 weeks in the NFL, and you know, you're 3 weeks in, and it's like, oh, we haven't been our best, so we're gonna try and work and hopefully put up a good fight and show them what our offense can be this week against Baltimore.
How much importance do you put on it being the first division game and against the division champs, and is there any sense of unfinished business from the finale last year?
Yeah, I wouldn't say unfinished business, but I would say that there's importance in this week. They're in first place in the division right now. I know it's early in the season, but you win this game and you're right there with them. The start is what it is, and you'll be 2-2 in first place in the division. So that's what we're fighting for. Going to Baltimore is always a challenge. They got a loud crowd. They're always into it. Their offense has been electric. Their defense has done big things. Got some big plays, and so it's always a challenge. But it's one we look forward to. It's one of the rivalries. I think every team in our division. There's something special about the rivalry, and this one's just as important, and we're ready to try and get this first division win of the season.
Are they more physical than anybody else you play?
Those big guys inside are tough, man. They're listed at like 330 and 335 and 340. I would probably bump that up a little bit. And it's always a physical game, and I think it's gonna be hot this weekend. And one of those games afterwards, you're like, man, this was a battle. But they're always a physical team, and they're always smash mouth, and that's what they do. They put big guys out there and try and run the ball. If you can't, then we'll cover and blitz and see what happens.
Browns getting ready to take on the Ravens in that AFC North matchup on Sunday.